Hello everybody. Today on Boreal Sounds ASMR, we are going to be going through what is in my camera bag. Starting with the back pocket here, we have spare memory cards, spare memory cards. We have 4 gigabyte that I was given quite a while back that doesn't really get used. We have a 64 gigabyte and we have a 128 gigabyte card. So those are handy, and also in here we have some silica desiccant that I use to help make sure condensation doesn't get on it, because that definitely wouldn't be good for my camera to be introducing that. In here we also have a power bank, because it's useful to have a powerful power bank. This one is 20,000 mAh. Yes, 20,000 mAh. It's a Belkin. It's solidly built, and it's hard to drain. And of course, to go with that, we have a charging cord. In here I have just some small snacks to take with me as I'm out shooting. If I can get that out of there. Some little mini Nature Valley granola bars. Just they're handy to tide you over till you get back home. Or if worst came to worst, get you through a day. Especially these Hornby organic bars. This one is chocolate chip peanut butter. And it is made of rolled oats, peanut butter, honey, tapioca, molasses, sesame seeds, chocolate chips, peanuts, sea salt, and it is fair trade. One bar is 360 calories, which makes it a light meal. Has 18 grams of fat, 42 grams of carbohydrates, 11 grams of protein. It has potassium, calcium, iron, and vitamin D. So that could help get you a ways. If necessary. compartment here, I have a couple of spare batteries that I normally keep in my pocket when I'm out, and they're numbered for when it's cold. I have a blower that used to remove dust from your camera's sensor or lens, a microfiber rag, a lens pen, which is a brush, brush that you use to clean smaller particles of dust off of your camera, over your sensor, and a pad that has a carbon compound in it that cleans the glass, kind of like using newspaper, and a bottle of cleaning fluid for lenses. That fell. I also have a level to make sure my shots are level. An intervalometer, which lets me run time lapses or take series of shots to stack together in Photoshop, like when I do star trails. And sensor swabs. These are used when you are stuck with dust or oil on your sensor that doesn't come off with blowing, and needs this to clean the sensor. You don't use these very often because usually you're able to blow it off, but sometimes you do end up needing to add or use that. You try to use that as little as possible because they are fairly expensive. But I'm a landscape photographer primarily, so I spend a lot of time in dusty areas, and that doesn't always work very well for keeping things clean. That sounds nice. And here we have a nice padded back to help protect the camera. pouch that I could put something in, but I don't. I have a lot of silica desiccant gels. I save these because what they do is that you're acclimating it from a hot, humid area to a cooler area to prevent condensation on the camera. I usually only carry 2 lenses. This is a fast 16mm focal length, 1.4 minimum, or well, maximum aperture. So a very wide open lens. Use this to get really wide angle shots of landscapes, or I use it at nighttime for things like the northern lights, where I have to take shots really fast in low light. Otherwise they blur together. A rain sleeve, which is really just a plastic bag that fits over your camera to protect it in rain. They're kind of awkward to use, especially when you're putting it on and taking it off of a tripod and you're trying to keep everything dry. And then here we have my camera. It's a Sony Alpha 6100, not particularly high-end as far as bodies go, but it definitely produces some good quality pictures. It is mirrorless, meaning it doesn't actually have the mirror that you used to have, which is really nice for people who hike long distances with a camera, because if you notice, the body is a lot smaller than you might be used to, which means you're able to have a lot less weight you're carrying around. So there's that. This is the lens I probably use the most often. It is a 55 to 210 millimeter zoom lens that I use for a lot of my landscape work, especially when I'm trying to really reach out and get deep shots of distant subjects, and I also use it for wildlife. This camera is technically entry level, but I find that it's pretty high quality for that classification. The sensor's pretty nice. It can record 4K. I'm not really a fan of 4K myself. It just looks weird to me. And the file sizes are absolutely massive. They eat through all the space on your memory cards. But that's my everyday photography carry bag and what I carry on my daily photography. So if you'd like to see any of my work in videos beyond what you've already seen, just feel free to let me know in the comments, and I can actually do a video showing some of my favorite work and talk about the pieces. I hope you have a restful night and that you enjoyed this. And if you are feeling particularly grateful, like and subscribe. I'm just getting back into ASMR after many years away, so I would really appreciate your support. And if you don't like what I'm doing, feel free to let me know. Until next time, rest easy.